everybody, it's SuffolkBlue, all the way from merry old England. How the devil are you? I hope you are well. Welcome back to City Skylines. Welcome back to Greenhaven. If you remember last time, we started putting in some bus routes and started doing a few bits and pieces here and there. As you can see, we have an enormous number of abandoned buildings up the top there, but I'll get to the reason for that in a second. The thing I just want to show you is just some of the mods that I've added, and also just talk a little bit about the buses. You can see that I've now put in some new routes. I've changed some of the other routes. We've now got a blue route called the Piccadilly line. I've called most of these named after London Undergrounds because they were the only thing that kept popping into my head. It's not based on the colours, are not necessarily exact right though. Of the colours of the line, I mean. So you can see we're saving 73% of this one. This route is basically to join up this commercial zone with this main area, which will be down here once we build it out. We have our yellow line, which is our district line, which I think is the circle line actually in London. But anyway, it doesn't make any difference. The yellow line is our district line, and that job is to take people from the estates and take them to work. So if you look at the route of this, it goes round this way, it goes up through all the estates, and then it goes up from the top here into the industrial estate down the bottom and stops again. The other line is the green one, the circle line, and that comes the other way. It does exactly the same route but goes in the opposite direction, so that if you're waiting for a bus to go home, you don't necessarily have to wait to go around the whole yellow one. The green one will pick you all up here and then take you home and start again. We've obviously still got the central line, which is our main red line here, and we've still got, as I say, the capital line. So those are the bus lines. If we look at our monies for this at the moment, they're not covering their cost. £723. So I'm going to call it pounds because it makes sense to me. £723 over there, but only 325 over here. That's fine. We've got tons of cash because it takes an age to lay out those. So I was sort of letting it run, and I followed all the buses around to make sure that they sort of didn't have too many road nightmares. What we have got there, and the reason for all these abandoned buildings up here is a lack of workers. Look at them. Look at it. And that's because we've got this residential sort of problem at the moment. Let's talk about the mods that I've got on board as well. I have picked up the City Vitals, which I think is pretty useful, and it can show me all the things that I need to see, and I can change that around. I'm very happy with this at the moment though, and I can see plenty of electricity, plenty of water, plenty of sewage. Landfill is a massive problem because we're almost full. So actually the first thing I'm going to do before we've done anything at all, oops, probably could have gone one over with that. Shall I do that? Sort of mess that up a little bit. That's better. So that's next door, so that's one big tip up there at the moment. We have to deal with that in a little while, but that's fine. So that's in garbage in, that's going to help. Landfill, that will sort that out. But also what I want to start doing now is looking at building outwards. And using these roads, I think. We're just going to go across here to start with. Oh, is this straight? It snaps on? Yep. Just do that for starters. And what I want to try and do is I want to maintain the idea that this downtown, which is where all our offices are going to be, I want one like that. How much gaps has that got? 4. I like the idea of trying to keep 3, 4. Yep, so, and then we want another 2 which have, oops, no gap. Oops, close but no cigar. And another 2 without a gap. Oops. Beautiful. And then we can have another one again, which has got the 4 gap. 2, 4. And just for the time being, I'm just going to get rid of that. So downtown is already starting to have a shape to it. Yeah, just a pattern at least. A pattern that's recognisable and repeats itself. That is fine for me. And so actually we probably could go one more just with the end so that it, you'll see what I mean in a second. Oops. Like that, which is therefore symmetrical. Yeah, so it's sort of a full square. If you look at the thingies, a full square, a gap, 2 full squares, a gap, 2 full squares, a gap, 1 full square, and then that can be mirrored down here, and we can just make it look a bit pretty down there. The next thing though is to look at going up here. I am going to take this one up. It is going to be the one that we go all the way up here with. I'll have to put in those. Put that all back in a second. There we go. Yes. So we're just going to connect all this up together along here. So there is an alternative route to get down through downtown. You don't have to go down this main alleyway. You can come down here as well. I want to create something which doesn't connect necessarily to each of these, because the more connections you have, to be honest, the worse it gets sometimes. So this estate up the top here, we're paused, aren't we? How much money have I got? I can take a loan out if I have to. This all looks very drastic at the moment, don't panic. All I'm trying to do is just neaten this up a little bit so that actually I can pretty much just go straight across into this. And straight across into there. So we're just, you know, putting this all together, making it neat and tidy for me. Gives me a little bit more space to work with. Go away. Gives me a little more space to work with this road, although actually I probably didn't want to put that there. That's probably a silly place to put it. Let's just go from here, I suppose. And then we can get rid of this top. Brilliant! Right, back to roads. So, the road at the top here is going to come across, probably to here, which is the closest squared shape I get. Now, I could come all the way down and connect to here. I don't know whether I want to do that. Again, it just creates extra. The more junctions you have, the more intersections, the worse your traffic is likely to be. But you do want to be able to transport through things, so we will put that there, I think. That's not even levels. That's why we're not going to use that. That's fine. Let's come down this side, I think. No. No. Yes. So this is going to come through here. Probably to there. Oh, close, but no cigar. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the centre. Is it that one? Ah, it's close enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. Let's just go across there for this for the second. I think the easiest way to do this sometimes is to just build it and then knock the bits down you don't want. We do want to be a bit efficient. There we go. Nice long sweeping roads, yeah, with very few, if we can get away with it, that is, very few junctions, because the more, as I say, the more junctions you have, the worse it gets. So that looks pretty good for me at the moment. I'm happy. I'm happy. I could run. I think we'll just do grass in the middle there. I think that would be fine. I think that would be fine. So that goes along there. How much money have we got? 94,000. Getting tight, but we're not there yet. This can continue out to here. Oops. Oops, that's because of that road. Go away. And then to there. And then this one, does this one have, can I do straight sweep up the middle there? Yeah, I can. I lose a little bit on either side, but it's not too bad. And it gives us some pretty colours, as in some trees and stuff can go in there. But that's not too bad. That gives us a bit of space, a bit of air. We don't want everything packed in tight. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty pleased with that layout. Now, we're down to 81,000 at the moment, which is a little bit low. Let's put our power cables back in, otherwise we're going to have all sorts of unnecessary problems. Oh, now what's wrong with you? I don't know. Sorry, I'm just thinking about how I was going to do that and why it was being so awkward, but I suppose it's just because the road was on the way. Good, everything's connected again, that's the main thing. And we'll take all that apart once all the power's in anyway. So, those are in. Let's pop the pipeworks in. Gotta put the pipework in. And then I'll talk about some of the other mods that I've put on here from the Steam Workshop, which I think are invaluable if you want to play this game. One of them is the plant mod, which allows you to build a wider area of trees. So, oh, that's not quite as efficient as I wanted it to be. The reason I want to be quite efficient with these is because every piece of pipe you have costs you money, so you might as well get the most maximum you can out of it, so that you don't have unnecessary pipe work. Oh, heaven's sake, missed it. There we go. And where else can we go? We can probably just finish this off as well. We might as well do one all the way down there as well. Finish up the trees. Why are you not connected to anything? Are you being awkward for a reason? There we go. Well, that's connected anyway. That should be okay. So we've got the power. We've got the power in. We've got the another set of pipes down here. There we go. Just to make sure we've got a little extra on there. Fabulous. Those are all in. Let's just take that power cable again across this road into. Did that go into there? I think it did. Yeah, it does now. Okay, so that's all powered up. That's good, good, good. Let's close that down. This is all still going to be downtown, and then we've got the Victoria Estates. I am going to just do my estates, just so I know what I'm doing and where I'm doing it. All of this is going to be downtown, still. All of this. Beautiful. But this one over here is a new estate, and I'm going to call it, I think I'll call it Victoria or somewhere, because the bus line that I need to put in here is going to have to be called something like that anyway. The new estates needs to take, hold on, whoops, I'll fiddle with this mainly off camera just to get it so every road is right. Oh, that's the old town. Careful. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Got to keep the old town as the old town. Can't have that changing into something else. There we go. So that's still the old town. This road is definitely part of Victoria. Nice. All the way down here. Everything on this road, on that side is Victoria. Everything on this road is going to be part of downtown. Beautiful. And then we can just go boop, 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 and put that in. Very pleased. Very pleased. So, and that's called Briarwood Park at the moment. It's not. We should change that straight away so I remember. And we're going to call it Victoria. Victoria. Okay. Excellent. So, the next thing to do is to have a look at what we're going to put in here to begin sort of offsetting this. We have got, I think, not cemeteries. What are we looking for? Residentials. Let's put in all of this as residential. I'm going to go mad with the residential because I think it's important that we get that in and working for us. Actually, where's my marquee tool? That will be easier just to go like this. I'm going to have all of this. Look at this. Wow. Bing. All green. Incredible, isn't it? We'll let that get in and start building up, and then we can deal with that. We also have a commercial need, so I'm going to have. I'm actually probably going to have all of this in here at the moment, just as commercial. Once we get the offices area, or the office space, do I need all of it? No. Let's just do that chunk. Once I get the... does that work for me? Yeah. Once we get the offices, we'll be able to change some of this over to offices to make it higher sort of density and get more from it. But that sort of works for me at the moment. awful lot. We're probably going to need some more yellow at some point, more industry, but we'll deal with that when we get there. Everything's in. Let's look at the services. Let's look at the spread of services at the moment. Fire is always a big one and causes me no end of problems. Let's have a look. Something central, because we have got, like, we could one day, not yet though, we get a fire station which is going to be bigger than our 6 little fire stations over here. I quite like the idea of just sort of sticking them up here, really. In they go. And what was that fire station? What health? Cemetery wise, I'm going to put a cemetery, I think, quite central. I quite like the idea of having like a really central cemetery. Like that. Because it separates these two out and it's sort of a bit of a feature in the middle, and I think that looks pretty. Let's get some elementary schools and then we're going to have to start the clock ticking, I think. Elementary is not a great school's width, does it? It really doesn't get you anywhere. I don't care about the downtown area, that doesn't bother me. It's just about getting the maximum number. Let's put one there. High school. Oh, I can't afford high school. Right, so I think we just have to start the clock ticking now and then see what breaks and what goes wrong. Everything's in place, nothing's been cut off from what I can see. So, go. Let's see how, or whether this gets itself. Let's speed up a little bit. Yeah, we need power for next to the crematorium's got power. That's good. Water seems to be an issue, and then isn't. Water availability seems fine at the moment. Electricity seems fine at the moment. Let's just go super fast, just to see that build up. Why are you flashing next to electricity here? When, well, the electricity is here, so you should have built a bit closer to the line, shouldn't you? You idiot! Stupid. But that is at least moving on. Money's coming in. Weekly income, 572. I think we just let that go. The next thing really for me, though, is to put in, I suppose, the bus routes. But the next things I want to talk to you about briefly, I suppose, is the next one. So we've done the city vitals, I've shown you that. I have now put in... yeah, so we can do that. And there we go. I've now got the first-person view. So we can walk about the city and go and have a look at the places and just see how things feel and how they flow. I don't like that big high wall around that church. Seems a bit unnecessary. But this sort of one-person view, and I have to say, the detail given, all these people waiting for buses, like, here they come the buses in you go. Anyone getting on board? No? Okay. But the amount of detail in these models is phenomenal, really, considering that you play these sort of city builder games from quite a high up, so you don't normally get this close to have a look at all of this and see what's going on. But it really is very detailed, and there's lots of good features. It's very American, I grant you that. I think the only thing I would suggest is that maybe they could come up with a European type of expansion pack, maybe, where you can have more of a European look and feel city. Obviously, I'm driving on the correct side of the road, but my buildings still look very American, very square. Like that, but they don't have a lot of the historical architecture that you get. I'm really impressed that this main bus station hasn't got like 1 million people outside waiting for buses to take them places. I am really into my buses. I don't know whether you've noticed that now. I quite like this public transport jobby. Up goes something. You can watch it being built. So there we go. We have the mod for that, and as I said, we also have the mod for trees. And I'm not going to put any in at the moment because we don't. I'll wait until they're full up, but. Although I suppose we could put some over here. Trees. Let's do some broadleafs. And then apparently you just need to do something like that. Move it around, squidge it around a little bit. Put the trees in, just to fill up the areas where you can. Different trees. And again, it doesn't hold the size. It sort of changes a little bit. There we go. Let's put some nice greenery and start sucking up some of this pollution. Down the edge there, maybe. Something like that. Yeah, works for me. Let's look as well. So that's all working beautiful. Let's go and also have a look at our traffic situation. Now, it's not too bad. I think, as I say, the buses are doing pretty good. We've got like between 60 and 80% savings on journeys. But obviously, there is always, Old Town is always, I think, going to be quite congested because it's little roads, it's one-way systems, but that's Old Town, that's why it's like that, you know. The newer parts, Victoria Estates and all these other ones, are going to be wide lanes, 4 lanes wider, plenty of space to put stuff on. I don't like this pinch point here. This worries me. This pinch point is worrying. So what I think we're going to do, oops, not that one, that one. Let's just pause for a second. We've got loads of money back now, but I want to look at moving, I think, these down. What's that? That's a medical clinic. I'm going to move it down by 1, hopefully, if I can. Yep. Just trying to move stuff 1 down, just so we can get some space on the end here to do an upgrade. Because I think these roads along this main road down here is going to need to be bigger. Is this 1-way or is this 2-way? No, it's definitely 2-way. So we go to 4-lane road, which is fine. Upgrade. Here we go. We do lose the buildings on that edge, I grant you, but I just think that pinch point was such a problem. Is this a 1-way? I almost feel like we could up this as well. We will lose the houses along the edge. But it might help a little. Well, no, it's coming out of the Old Town. We'll leave it as is. So there we go. That's just hopefully alleviated any potential future travel problems there, just by making that slightly wider road. But it looks good. The abandoned buildings over here, I'm led to believe, will fix themselves. They're supposed to. If they won't, then I'm going to need to go through and demolish all of these, which would be a bit of a pain. But I think we have to have some demand over there. So that's all in. The last thing really, as I said, for me to do is to create the bus routes. What I will do, I think, is whilst you're here, I might as well show you how I do it. Is obviously we've got the capital line, the Piccadilly line, the one that's taking all the blue, really should now encapsulate all of downtown, not just this bit here. To do that, I'm going to need to find the line. Piccadilly line, that's fine. Let's get into, that's what I wanted, sorry, and that one. Let's find there, and we're going to move it out and start to stretch it. Let's put 1 there. Let's put 1 there. Let's put 1 there. And all we're doing is we're just, you know, extending this line out so that it becomes more useful to us. I'm going to pull you up here. I'm going to put a stop. Oh no, not there. Not there. Or there, even. Because that's a whole new line. Now, why won't you put that where I want you to put it? Okay, well that's fine. You put it there then. And then I'm just dragging these in. Not interrupting the line. The line is still doing what I want it to do. We are just putting in the necessary stops. And you just drag it down so that it covers all of the main area that you want it to cover. So in this case, it's downtown. So we just start doing stuff like this, pulling it in. That stops there already, and then it gets back onto the original route. So all we've done is just extend out. You can't have one at that junction, but we can put one there. There we go. So these bits aren't covered by a bus route, but that's fine. The main thing is it snakes its way all the way through and then gets back to the beginning. And, you know, essentially you've just covered the whole area of downtown. I might change the name of that line, because I'm going to keep calling it the downtown line anyway, so why I call it the Piccadilly, I don't know. Let's do that whilst I think about it. Click on there, change line, it's now called downtown. Enter. Much better, downtown line. 306 passengers a week, that's fine, that's only a start. So the next thing for me to do, and I'll do this off camera away from you guys so you don't have to watch me do it, but is to create the bus line that goes through all of these. Just tries, I mean, I think it's going to have to, I'd like it to come, it has to go up there. Down, up, down, up, down, and off. So again, it's going to be a snake, but it'll hit all of them as it goes through here, I think. And that just sorts out that. And I think every time you build a new estate, you have to do that, because if you don't, that's where your traffic really starts to come from. So, the next thing we'll look at next time, we want to try and get to 5,000, a population of 5,000. We have got some special buildings, and we can look at putting some of these in maybe, in order to have a bit of a a feel maybe down here in downtown. Perhaps we'll have a look at doing that next time as well. In the meantime, really all we can do is just keep expanding and hope that we reach all the places. This doesn't have any medical care over here at the moment, which is a bit poor. So it has to be on that central line, doesn't it? That central road. I'm going to put one in, because I just think it helps. The other thing we're missing entirely at the moment is leisure. And we really do have to put some leisure in, other these houses are never going to do much of anything. Japanese garden, no. I'd love to put in a large park, or a park with trees, but it's just huge, look. Massive. It does fit in the middle here, though. And that might be quite a nice sort of thing to put in up here in the new estate, Victoria Park. Apparently you can't put it in. I'm wondering why it won't go in where I thought it was going to go in. It won't go in the middle here. No idea why. Apparently it's full. It will go in there. Let's just pause that for a second. Because I think... There we go. Now I'll get closer it will. I'm going to do it slap bang as close to the middle as I can. So there we go. We've now got a large park. Now I have just put it right through the middle of those cables. But everything's powered. So that's good. And then I can get rid of... that and that. Oops, and that. Excellent. Then we come back to here and let's just make sure that we've got all of this area covered in green where it can be, where those power cables were. So there we go. We've now put a large Victoria... This is Victoria Park. And I think I can name it, can't I? Park with trees, yeah. So I'm going to call it Victoria Park. Because it's in the Victoria State. Victoria Park. Beautiful. And that's going to be pushing out a little bit of land value over there, but not so much for Old Town. And Old Town might have to have an old park put in, or, you know, a park over here somewhere, but it's not a problem at the moment. We'll add these as we go. Let's carry on. But I do think that, you know, we've got to remember to put the leisure in, otherwise they're not going to come. So, brilliant. I think that's it for this episode for me today. We've expanded out into the new estates. We've put in the policy areas, just to make that look right. You can sort of see what's happening. I might have to go through and delete all of those abandoned buildings, which is a bit of a pain. Money's coming in pretty good though, 6,000. Perhaps we can look at a tax cut for these guys. 10, 11, if I go 9 for you. So residents only pay 9% tax, commercial pays 10, industrial pays 11. Just to try and encourage the growth in residents. In the meantime, I'm going to go away now and put in this bus route and get that ready to go. And I hope you've enjoyed. If you have enjoyed this, please remember to leave a like, give a little like. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means the world to me. And leave a comment if you want to about how you think it's developing or what areas you'd like to see developed further. And until next time, you take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.